Hey, this is Steve, also known as Terramantis, and this is my channel Vitcha. In this video we're going to take a look at 10 things you may or may not know about Dark Souls 2. In my previous 10 things series for Dark Souls, we played a game where if you learned something new, you'd hit the like button, and if you didn't learn anything, you'd hit the like button. Well, in this new series for Dark Souls 2, I want to change things a little bit. This time around, if you learn something new, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button. But if you don't learn anything, you should also hit the like button because likes are the only thing that matters in life, and it's basically the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. Alright, the countdown will get more interesting and more difficult as we go, so let's get started. For number 10, as we know from Dark Souls, the Lord Vessel is what gave the chosen undead the ability to teleport from fire to fire. Well, did you know that you can find a shattered Lord Vessel in the basement of the house in Majula? What makes this interesting is that the broken relic could explain bonfire travel so early in the game. Perhaps the shattered fragments were placed in each bonfire to allow teleportation across Drangleic. For number 9, if you kill the ogres and things betwixt, you can gain access to a stone coffin. Rest in the coffin and you'll change your character's gender. Alright, for the next one I'll show you how to walk on magma platforms. First, wear high fire resistance gear like the smelter set, elemental rings, the bracing knuckles so your gear doesn't break, and use the pyromancy flash sweat. This should allow you to survive on most platforms of fire, but the real thing you may not know is that if you find a vase filled with water and roll into it, your character will become coated in water. This coating will allow you to take 0 damage from fire for about a minute. Okay, for the next one, you may have noticed that there's a ton of poison in the Eastern Peak Tower and while fighting Mytha the Baneful Queen. Well, what you may not know is that if you go to the windmill just behind the second bonfire in the tower and set it on fire, the destruction of the windmill will no longer allow for poison to be pumped into the tower, clearing the zone of venomous hazards. For number 6, did you know that unlike Dark Souls, in Dark Souls 2 when a ring breaks it's not destroyed forever, it just needs to be repaired for souls. Why this is so useful is because you can stay in your human form at the cost of 3,000 souls instead of consuming human effigies. This is especially useful in the early stages of the game when effigies are scarce. So for number 5, did you know that the map by Kale the Cartographer will have flames ignite on it when you trigger certain events throughout the game? Now what you may not know is that if you trigger the same events after New Game Plus 8 or through the use of ascetics, it will begin changing the flames blue. Alright, for the next one I'm sure you know the Pursuer, the guy that just comes swooping in all the time while you're trying to mind your own business. Well, if you can parry the Pursuer, he will be stunned for roughly 5 seconds. If you do this in the line of fire of the Ballista, you'll have enough time to shoot him with it for 99% of his health in one shot. So now that we've defeated the Pursuer, I can tell you about number 3, how to skip the Ruin Sentinels. It's simple, really. All you need to do is take the Eagle Flight path after the Pursuer to the Bastiel, pick up the Antiquated Key, go back to Majula and make sure that you have an extra Pharaoh Stone, then head to No Man's Wharf, defeat the Flexile Sentry, take a boat to the other entrance of the Bastiel, break this wall, use the Antiquated Key, kill some undead dogs, find the Pharaoh Stone socket, go through the passage and up the cage elevator, pull the lever on the wall, and voila! See? Piece of cake. No more Ruin Sentinels to fight. Alright, for number 2, did you know that in the Seldora campsite there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that a piglet will spawn? The piglet's not hostile and it will follow you. The purpose of the piglet is to take it all the way down to one of the cathedrals to eat a patch of mushrooms to get a secret pickaxe weapon. Well, what you may not know is that with a little ingenuity, you can actually bait one of the large hogs down to the same area to reach the same goal. Much better and more realistic than a 1 in 1,000 chance to spawn the piglet. Alright, for number 1, did you know that Aldea, King Vendrick's brother, is the ancient dragon found at the Dragon Shrine? From the Sunset staff description, we know that Lord Aldea secluded himself in a manor to conduct various experiments, and those invited to the manor disappeared, replaced over time with malformed beasts that roamed the halls. From the Bone Shield description, we know that the figure known as Lord Aldea kept giants in his manor and attempted to recreate a dragon, but after some time, Lord Aldea was never heard from again. This is because he was no longer a man. He was now the result of a magic experiment fueled by the power of a giant soul to become an ancient dragon. This is also the reason for receiving a giant soul for killing the ancient dragon. Now, if that's still not enough, here's 2 characters in-game corroborating one another by both claiming the dragon is not genuine.
Brave undead, you've met that dragon, that living, breathing sham, a false deity, offering nothing.
You'll find a great creature far to the east, a colossal thing with the strength to match its size, or something playing the part at least.
Furthermore, the homunculus mace reads, "Found in the manor of Aldea. In the far eastern outskirts of Drangleic lies an old manor that is now forgotten, as it should be, for things that lurk there are better left unknown." From this description, we know that Aldea's manor is in the eastern part of Drangleic, just as the creature Shalquar is referring to. Finally, during the dialogue with the dragon, it refers to itself as us, instead of singular. Suggesting there is more than one consciousness or entity within the same creature. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.